Okay, so after you've set up your document, you're going to want to first start by laying out with some text. So just like with an image, which we'll learn later, you're going to go to File and Place, and then go to my drive, and I'm going to go to my folder that has my text files in it. I'm going to click on Mock Article, and I'm going to hit Open. And it's just going to give me a thing saying there's some missing fonts, but you don't need to worry about that. Alright, and as you can see, it's going to load your cursor with the first few lines of your text file. And I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag. And let me zoom in a bit. Now it's highlighted at pink because the font that was in the Word document InDesign is not recognizing, but that can be fixed by selecting all. And I'm just going to choose a quick font here. Let's just go with Arial Regular. And so the pink is gone and InDesign is recognizing the font now. But you don't want to just leave your text like this. You want to format it. So this is your headline here. So let's say if we're going to stick with Arial, right now it's at 12 point. Let's go 25. Now I would advise after you format your headline, before you format any of the other text, we're going to click right here on this white box in the upper left corner. When you click on that, it's going to load your cursor just like it did a little bit ago. But now, instead of flowing new text, it's just going to flow whatever text is at the top of that document. Click and drag. And as you can see, it's given me part of my headline. I'm just going to elongate that a little bit to get the rest of that headline in there. I'm going to bring that up to where I just have my headline in that box alone. So we've got a headline, and the reason I made it this long is I'm also going to want the headline to span however many columns we end up making for our text to flow in. So now this is your subhead, which you may or may not have, but for this example, we're going to just make that italic and size 15. Then you've got your byline, and we'll just go size 9. And as you see here, this is your leading, which is just the spacing in between lines. And I'm just going to make that a flat 10. That's not anything you need to particularly worry about at this point, but just to let you know. Then we've got your email address, if you're going to include something like that. I'm just going to go 8 on 10. And I'm also going to, real quick, center these two items. And then the rest of your body, the rest of the story, we're just going to go 9 on 10. Okay. Alright, so we formatted the story, but now you want to break it up into columns. So here, let's say we want to have the story span the entire width of your usable area. But now you want to break it up into columns. Under your advanced workspace, you should have right about here that's called number of columns, and right now it's set at 1. Now if we up that to 2, it's going to break it into 2 separate columns. And we can go to 3, go to 4, and so on and so forth. Now here you've got a lot of space, and that's just for the simple fact that you don't have enough copy. But we don't want to leave that white space. White space is not a good thing most times, especially in a newspaper. So all we do is bring that up to make sure that the text is nice and flush, and that we're deleting a lot of that white space. And as you can see, that is the basics of flowing text. There are a few other things you can do with that. For instance, maybe later on in the semester you'll get into something called paragraph styles or character styles or object styles. And basically, what that will allow you to do is to do what I just did, all within basically the click of a mouse. I've already set up an object style. I'm just going to click OV Story, and it's formatted everything the way I want it to. The only thing I need to do is to click on that white button there and load my cursor with my headline. And I'm going to make this go 4 columns and bring that up to where we're getting it to fill all that space. Now here, if I bring it up too much, it's going to load the end of this with a little red plus, and that just means you've got overflowing text. And if you click that and then create a new text box, it'll simply flow the rest of that text into a new box. Well, that's not going to be necessary here because I'm just going to bring that right back down, and then now there's no red plus. So we've got all our text flowed, we've got it all formatted, and that is the basics to flowing text.